Section 3 starts the information on linear functions in slope-intercept form. First thing we need to talk about is slope. Slope is a vertical change over a horizontal change, or you better know it as rise over run. Go up before you go over. The slope formula is written there for you, y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Make sure you write that down and can reference it as needed. Problem 1, what is the slope of the line that passes through the given points? It doesn't matter which ordered pair you choose to be x1, y1, and x2, y2. I tend to keep them in the same order. So whatever ordered pair comes first, I call x1, y1, and whatever one comes second, I call x2, y2. And I'm going to write the formula on this screen so you can see what I'm doing. All I'm going to do is substitute the values that I have. So to find slope, I'm going to do y sub 2, negative 2, minus y sub 1 is 2, over x sub 2, negative 2, minus x sub 1 is 2. Figure out the top and bottom separately. On the top, negative 2 minus 2 is negative 4, and same as the bottom. So the answer is 1. They're not all going to be that pretty. If you take a look at letter B, x1, y1, always label them first, x2, y2. So, slope, y sub 2 is negative 5 minus y sub 1 is 2. Keep in mind that negative, that minus in between is always a minus. On the bottom, x sub 2 is 4 minus x sub 1 is a negative 10. So you have to be careful with this one. On the top, negative 5 minus 2 is negative 7. But on the bottom, we have a minus and negative, which turns positive. 4 plus 10 is 14. So the slope here is the negative 1/2. Negative 7 over 14 reduces. Doesn't matter which one is x1, y1, and x2, y2. That's up to you. So even if you labeled your ordered pairs backwards from what you see up here, you should still get the same answer. There are 4 pictures there for you to see. Positive slopes, like the one in the upper left-hand corner, go up from left to right. If you start on the left side of that graph and you trace the line, you're tracing upwards. Negative slopes are the complete opposite. They go down from left to right, like the one in blue. And then there are 2 special cases of slope. The first one is a 0 slope, like the green one. The reason that's 0 is because, remember, slope is rise over run. And that green line, it doesn't rise. So you have a 0 on the top and some number on the bottom. 0 divided by a number is 0. That's the complete opposite for the red line. That one's undefined because its rise is a ton. It rises the entire time, but its run from left to right is 0. And you're not allowed to divide by 0. That's why that red line is undefined. A linear function is a function whose graph is a line. Anytime you graph an equation and it's a straight line, we call that a linear function. The equation that you're looking at is called a linear equation. The power of x, the little number in the air behind the x, is a 1. Not written, but understood to be there. The y-intercept is the point where a line crosses the y-axis. It's where we start graphing. The x-intercept is the point where a line crosses the x-axis. Usually not quite as helpful as the y-intercept, but definitely something you can look at. Slope-intercept form is super important. That's y equals mx plus b. M is the slope, and b is the y-intercept. Example 2, what is an equation of each line? So if you take a look at letter A, they tell you the slope is 2, and the y-intercept is 0, 3. The 0 part of that is not necessary. That just tells us that b is 3, and we're putting everything in y equals mx plus b. So all you're doing is substituting. So in letter A, your answer is y equals 2x, because m is 2, plus 3. Letter B, our m value is 3 over 4, and our b value is negative 5. So our equation is y equals 3 over 4x minus 5. Instead of writing plus a negative 5, just clean that up right away and make it minus 5. Letter C, they tell us that m is negative 1/5 and b is 1. So I get y equals negative 1/5 x plus 1. In letter D, if you have a 1 right there and a plus 0, that's okay. Just try to clean it up because neither of those are necessary. It just looks a little confusing if you have them there.